Okay, let's talk about swing shape or a path or a plane of the golf swing. I like to use the hula hoop as a visual for you to see how the path of the club may change according to the length of the club. If I've got a pitching wedge, a 7-iron, and a driver, I want you to notice that in these setups, they're all going to be set up at a different swing path or swing shape. So if I had a shorter club in my hand, I want you to look at the shape of the shaft. If I had a 7-iron, I want you to look at the shape of the shaft. And then if you looked at a driver, look at the shape of the shaft or how it sits to the ground, okay? So it's relative to the length of the club that you're swinging. Today we're talking about the driver, okay? And the power golf swing, the position that you want to stand to, we talked about the power setup, but your arms and your hands are actually going to be slightly outside your shoulder plane with a longer club, okay? Because we want maximum extension through the ball. Okay, so I'm going to use the hula hoop as an example. So let's pretend I've got a driver in my hand. Now because it's longer, it's going to sit a little flatter. Again, if I had a shorter club, it would sit more vertical. If I have a longer club, it sits more flatter. Now notice that when it sits flatter with a driver, because of the length of the club, this is actually going through underneath my armpit or actually through my back. If I actually went more this way, you can see how it's lowered, or this way. The more I go this way, it's more high. Okay, so a lot of people misinterpret or misunderstand the path of a power golfer because again we want maximum extension. If I take the club back in the proper sequence, the shape of this circle should stay the same. So if I'm going back in the proper order, you're going to see that my arms and my hands are moving together, which pulls my torso, which eventually allows my hips to free up. And look at where my arms and my hands are in relationship to the circle. They're still in front of my trunk. I think the biggest mistake, the people that slice the golf ball, this is what they do in their first takeaway. They turn their hips, shoulders, and their hands actually will hinge instead of cock. So it looks like this, okay? So the club is now inside the target line, and then they keep moving this way, and notice that the shape of the swing is more like a merry-go-round now, but the ball's on the ground. So guess how they get back to the ball? As they keep moving this way, the momentum and the energy of the club is actually got to reroute back this way. Now look at the shape of the circle, okay? So one of the things I want my students to feel is the proper sequence and the proper shape are all the same. It doesn't matter. If I sequence correctly, the shape of the circle stays the same. If I move my arms, okay, which turn my shoulders and my torso, then my hips, then when I change directions, if I start from the ground, which is from my feet, through my knees, through my hips, this way, then the shape actually returns back to that same position. Again, if you're a slicer, obviously the circle is over the top, right? So the more that I swing the club in and around, okay, the more I'm going to go out and over. So if I go out and over and I'm swinging to the left, I have to open the face to make it to go back to the target. And people wonder why they slice the ball. Well, if you swing left with an open face, it's going to slice.
My power secrets can instantly be yours. I promise your next round of golf, you'll be crushing the ball 30 to 40 yards farther without any practice whatsoever. Read the information below to grab your risk-free 365-day trial of my power secrets and bonuses. You will have instant access to my power secrets in the next 5 minutes.